In other MicroTIP videos, you may recall my reference to being valued as opposed to being liked. And in this video today, I want to give you a pointer or two on how to increase your value to your potential customer. Most every sales professional in the business-to-consumer sales environment, especially large ticket items such as homes, boats, RVs, and other products of that nature, realizes that initially many prospective buyers are a bit nervous when you first engage with them. We know this simply from observing their behavior and their body language. Now, for those of you who already have a full MicroSeminars membership, I cover this subject in several of our MicroTopics videos, and I address in great detail how to make people feel comfortable with you and at ease quickly and efficiently. We discuss not only what to do to make people feel more comfortable, but also what not to do. In most cases, however, people seem to feel a little uncomfortable and somewhat standoffish when you first meet them. And let's take a quick look at what a prospective buyer might be nervous about. Now, you might say, well, they're afraid of buying. And in a few cases, you might be right. In the vast majority of cases, however, they're not afraid of buying something, but rather they're afraid of buying the wrong thing. They're afraid of buying a home that's not going to meet the needs of their family. They're afraid of buying a boat that's too big or too small. They're afraid of buying a camper or a fifth wheel that doesn't do what they see themselves doing. And they are also critically aware that they do not have all of the information they need to make this decision on their own. In other words, they need help, and specifically, they're looking for your help. But what would make them think that you know more about this than they do? The fact is, in many cases, they will have been to your competition. They will have looked at other homes. They will have talked to other realtors. They will have looked at other boats or talked to a lot of other RV salespeople, right? Or do they always come to you first and then come to you again right before they buy? Of course, that doesn't happen all the time. No, the reality is they will have talked to a lot of other people, and yet they still may not be any more informed than they were before they started looking. Well, why? Well, I'm not sure, but therein lies your opportunity to bring added value. So what your consumer knows is this: they need more information to make the best decision. They currently don't have that additional information, and you're the next hope that can bring that information. So, once you've built that rapport that we spoke of in other MicroTip videos, and before you begin asking them a lot of questions pertaining to their purchase, take a moment and give them an overview of the fundamental steps of the process by which you have helped other clients just like them find the right home, the right boat, or the right camper. In other words, give them a 30 to 45-second overview of what it is that you're going to do and say next. For example, in residential real estate, there are really only 4 categories of information that matter. They are: what does the customer want to live in? Where do they want to live? How are they going to pay for their new home? And how soon are they going to be moving? The reality is this, ladies and gentlemen: every successful realtor has enough information to help these folks once these questions have been discussed in greater detail. So let's come full circle here. If your prospective buyer knows they don't have a process by which they can ensure they will buy the right home, the right camper, or the right boat, might it not make sense to demonstrate that you do have such a process? Would that not build value? What this requires you to do is to break down the typical buying process into 4 or 5 fundamental steps. No details, just overview. It always sounds something like this. First, folks, I want to discuss this, and then I want to ask you a few questions about that. And once we've done this, the next logical step will be to do that. How does that sound to you? I can assure you, the vast majority of time, the answer will be, that sounds great. And you've just been given permission to move forward and begin doing what needs doing and begin asking what needs asking. So the takeaway is this: think about how you can explain your process to your prospective buyer in about 30 to 45 seconds, nothing longer. You're not educating them here, you're just lowering their stress level. and increasing the perceived value. And once you've written and refined it, practice it, and practice some more. Practice until you can say it in your sleep. As you know, confidence stems from competence. Keep it simple and keep it consistent. Use this critical process introduction with every new potential buyer. I promise you, you'll be glad that you did.